All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Trust Sports. We're in the building today. Playoff football is among us. Championship football just passed us. What's going on, my guy? How you feeling?
Leak, I'm feeling great. I'm sure I'm a little bit better than you after Michigan. Your bitter rivals went out and just dominated. Dominated, and they're national champs.
But no matter what, I have to live. I think we're kind of pretty even right now, going off of the way the Eagles are going, the way Michigan. So we're pretty even right now.
Probably.
I would definitely say
we're down bad regardless.
Yeah, we're both down bad. The pod is down bad, bro.
Exactly.
But hey, we might as well talk about it. The Michigan game. Let's be honest here. Mm-hmm. Did you watch that game in its entirety?
I turned it off probably like four. No, you know what? I'm sorry. I showered up, turned it off like the start of the fourth quarter, turned it back on, just like watch the celebrations and all. But yeah, I from the beginning probably missed like a majority of the fourth, but at that point it was well over.
Yeah, so I can tell you right now, I was in and out. I mean, it was at 7:30 for me. That's my gym time, and I was like, I'm not going to sacrifice this to watch Michigan win. I knew right away within the first quarter, I was like, this is going to be a dominance. If you could run the ball on a team like that, game over. Like it's game. It's going to be that type of game. But my only observation of coming out of this game, I have a couple actually, but one of my biggest ones is that Washington was just outcoached in my eyes. Like they just did not have the proper play calling, and Penix did not look like he was that guy anymore. But I really think that no matter what, it wasn't about him, because if you look at the ability for him to throw dimes the week before to comparison to now from Texas to Michigan, it looked like a totally different quarterback.
Yes,
because he had no time in the pocket. He couldn't do. He had to play Superman, and you're not going to play Superman versus a team that is all out on all levels, a great fucking team from Michigan. You're not going to be able to do that versus them. So he had to turn into a hero with their running back being down. It just was all around a bad case of we're not ready for this, and Michigan took it.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of why, like, going back when we talked about our predictions with Tone a few weeks ago, I think we all took Bama. And I told you, I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to go Michigan. And the reason for it was almost like Michigan had dominated all year. Like, whether they did it to themselves or didn't, like, they battled some sort of adversity of their head coach not being there for 6 games total. They still were winning these games, but it was never pretty, right? Like, we always see teams when we fall in love with teams like Washington, right, that can score with the best in the nation, with like Georgia over the past couple of years that just had NFL bodies at every single position. So they looked really, really good winning these games. Sometimes Michigan would dominate you, and it didn't seem like that. Like even the Big Ten championship game, they won 26-0. And we were all like, I don't know, that wasn't really a convincing win. And it's kind of like, well, what are we talking about? Like, this is what they do. It's just fully a complete team. To me, they did what we thought they were going to do. They just out-physicaled Washington at both fronts. The secondary for Michigan turned Penix into a normal quarterback, which is crazy. I don't think, don't take anything away from him. He was also banged up left and right from that game. And the best quarterback in Michigan's history completed 10 passes. So
that's my biggest, dude. Like, it just fucking angers me, bro. It just fucking angers me that Michigan's able to walk away. Now, this is where I'll give you respect. I would give it the respect that, like, let's just say you don't have COVID, you don't have eligibility. This is the best Michigan team in the history of Michigan as a whole. You have to write that down. 14-0 national championship, beating Ohio State the way they beat Ohio State 2 years in a row. This is a team of men who should be in the NFL. This is a full team that, like, is ready to, like, they probably be I guarantee when you watch draft night, you'll see probably Michigan being like top 3 for drafting guys, like in this draft class, right? The only part that fucking pisses me off is that JJ McCarthy will go down as being the quarterback of this team, only going 10 for 18 for 140 yards. That's the worst fucking part. I'm listening to commentators hype up JJ McCarthy like he's the fucking almighty all. I mean, if not for nothing, and I want to get into it. I want to get into his. You want to say JJ McCarthy is the best of all time? Bring him back next year. If you all want to say he's this great, come back next year and let's see you do it again. You would, and we were texting Liam. I was like, I bet you he's not coming back. He's the fuck out with eligibility. He's going, and I bet you he's going. But you have to look at the season, right? On this year, he was 72% completion, right? An averaging of 9 yards a completion, 22 TDs, 4 interceptions. His longest throw was 54 yards. Now you tell me, who does this sound like? when we look around the NFL, we say, wait,
Mhm.
we start pointing fingers to a system of a guy, and we start pointing fingers at Brock Purdy. This is another example of a Brock Purdy having to just sit back, enjoy the show, and he wants to sit there and do his fucking yoga poses in the end
I know.
zone. And he knows all I have to do is not come out and throw a pick on the first fucking series. He got blessed with Alabama that wasn't a pick.
Yep.
All I have to do is just don't fuck up. Just if we have to punt, mind you, that game they should have beat them by a fucking 100 points. How many times did they get the ball back to Washington and Washington's getting stumped out of that Michigan defense? How many times was JJ bailed out of we'll just have to punt that? You're telling me if you're that complete of a team, you don't throw up 100 on that team with all that talent. There's only one guy why you don't throw up 100 points, and that's JJ.
Yeah, no, it's completely right. And if you remember when we talked about the Michigan-Ohio State game after it just happened, we had a lot of people comment. We had a lot of Michigan fans because of something I said. I was like, Kyle McCord outplayed JJ McCarthy in that game.
Nice.
Through the one bad pick, the other one was like end of game, whatever. You can excuse that. But that was the main difference. And people are like, well, what do you mean he outplayed him? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, well, this is what JJ McCarthy is. He's a game manager. As long as he doesn't turn it over, they're going to win. And that's exactly what he's done his whole career. That's why he's one loss throughout his entire 2.5 years of starting at Michigan. So you're right. I mean, we said it right away going into this game. It's an eerie comparison to an NFL team, an NFL quarterback. But it's interesting now because you kind of look at what the past couple national champions have looked like. And it is just build the front, build the pass rush, have immense talent, and have an average quarterback. I mean, it was Stetson Bennett for the past 2 years for Georgia. Yeah, they had dominating fronts. They had a couple skill players that are in the NFL, and that's exactly what Michigan was. And you had a quarterback who wasn't going to win you games, but he was never going to lose you games. He knew exactly what he needed to do. So in this role, McCarthy's great. But long term, look, we could be wrong. I don't see how he truly succeeds in the NFL unless he goes to a system like Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, not them specifically, but like an offensive scheme with talent around him that just makes him what he looked like at Michigan.
He's not a big dude. He's not that guy that's going to get you that size. I mean, this is what I want to say. Michigan, you have the national championship, right? You have it all. Like you have it all. The issue, like it's not the issue. You want to compare, and I love that. I saw this tweet go up, and it was like, this is the difference between guys being that guy and just winning a national championship. That guy is what Deshaun Watson did in college. That guy is what Cam Newton did in college. That guy is not him. JJ is not that guy that if you line him up and you say, go win me a national championship, that he gets it the fuck done. I mean, if I was hardball, that is the most disrespectful thing you could say is that he's the best quarterback in Michigan history to come out. Mind you, not a bunch of fucking Michigan guys that translate to NFL, but when you look at the totality of them, like Mike Leach, you have all these guys who had a lot of fucking amazing talent when they were at fucking Michigan. I mean, Denard Robinson. When Denard Robinson was there, that was like this dude was on the cover of NCAA football with an awful team. I mean, that Michigan team, like Taylor Wong would say, we were the worst team to come almost through Michigan. And he still was on the cover of NCAA fucking video games. Being that guy, put him on this team. See where his stock is at now. I mean, he might be the highest paid college player of all time and the NFL of all time because of what he produced. But like you said, I'm gonna compare it as I've only been wrong once. I've been wrong on Joe Burrow. That's the only guy I've been wrong on. When I say the translation to the NFL, I said this was Stetson Bennett. He won't be translating. This guy won't translate, but it's okay. You guys have done your job. You got the job done. 14-0. Only person I could say I'm happy for in this situation is the running back. I know you went out. You went out last. Blake Corum. You went out crazy last year. It fucking sucked. You getting hurt in the playoff game. You came back and you made up your mind and said, I'm going for that championship. You got it done. Congrats to you guys. Congrats to that backup running back for showcasing himself as well for Michigan. He fucking showed up and showed out. My fear, too, is with Blake Corum. Let's see how you translate into the NFL. I would love to see it. You're a beast, dude. But, hey, man, you're going to – that's a different beast in the NFL. I love to see how you translate. I'm not hating on his story going forward. I would love to see his transition into the NFL. But the last thing that's there now, the question that everyone wants to ask, is Harbaugh coming back? I have my own beliefs on what may happen. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, so I think kind of going into this when we talked about the predictions, I said Michigan's going to win and Harbaugh's going to leave. I think I still see that. The only thing that has me pushed back just a little bit was I don't know if you saw. I saw a clip of it last night when Scott Van Pelt interviewed him after everything, is said and done.
Yeah.
And one of the things Harbaugh said, he was like, yeah, we normally start everything on Valentine's Day because we just love football. But yeah, I think I'll give the guys until March. Like, I'll give them that extra time until we really get started. And everyone's like, what do you mean you'll give them until March? Like, are you kind of hinting that you are coming back? Look, he was offered, I think, $120 million for Michigan to come back. I don't think he's accepted it yet. I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
If you have intentions on staying at anywhere, let alone your alma mater, like your school, the school that you are taking to the national championship, and they're giving you 120, how do you not just sign right away? That tells me that he's looking to go, and I think he's almost ready for the next challenge in going back to the NFL, where he's had tremendous success already. So I do think he'll go to the NFL.
I mean, I think he's gone. I think there's no way he stays for a couple of reasons. Of one, you've done it all. There is no way possible to have a better college coaching career. You've beaten Ohio State twice. You've beaten Ohio State in a which way of how they did this year to get you to the national championship. It's probably one of the biggest games in modern day, right? Of today's times of getting to that game. You won a national championship in which you beat Bama on the way, and then you won against Washington, who will now be in the Big Ten with you, right? Right? That's going to become a big thing now. You leave on top. There's nothing else. You have the NCAA coming down on you. You have everyone looking out for you. You have so much behind you. I mean, he was a great coach. He was a great coach in the NFL. I mean, his record was like 47 and something. He was a good fucking coach. He got to Super Bowl with Kaepernick. I think he just outlasted his time at San Francisco and should just moved on somewhere else. But never, more than ever, there's a fucking plethora of jobs this year to go around. I mean, just hit the market right now. The Titans just look like Mike Vrabel, fucking stupid ass.
I know.
Mike Vrabel, if I would let you fucking do whatever you want to me to come to the Cowboys. I would do whatever it fucking takes, bro. Like, you just want me to be a dummy on the football field? I would be a dummy on the football field for you just to let me get beat the fuck up, bro. Please.
Call me. I was like, call him and get him here tomorrow to coach Eagles Bucks. Like, get Sirianni out and get Vrabel. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But I mean, you're right with Harbaugh, because he's also succeeded before the NFL too, right? Like, remember his years at Stanford when he turned that program from literally nothing to a legitimate contender. And I think before then he was at San Diego State, had success there. Like, the dude wins. And you're right. Like, in terms of the college, you've now taken 3 programs from bottom level as to where they were to as high as they could go. And for Stanford and for San Diego, that wasn't going to be a national championship. For Michigan, it was. Like, now what you have to prove is go to the NFL. So the Chargers is like the sexy name that everyone keeps throwing out there. But you're right. There's going to be a lot of jobs. There might be more as we kind of continue to move on. Like the Bucks with Todd Bowles. I don't know how in love they are with him. Obviously, we'll talk about the Eagles, and if they get blown out, I wouldn't be surprised if Sirianni goes. So there's going to be a lot of openings that if he wants to come back, I'm sure he's going to be at the top of a lot of teams' lists.
I mean, okay, so then now for Ohio State, how do you combat this? How do you kind of shut this noise up, right? How do you shut up?
They're trying.
Michigan beat you 3 years in a row. Michigan going out and getting the job done and winning the national championship, right? I think you have to beat Michigan twice. You have to beat them 2 years in a row, and you have to get back to the dance. You have to get back deep into the dance. You have to get back there, and you have to shut this whole thing up, right? We just landed the top running back, right? Just landed a fucking horse, right? Amazing. I love it. That's what I'm talking about, Ryan Day. Get the fucking job done. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing guys who are coming back. I'm seeing a lot of guys who could have declared also coming back. Taking on that train of Michigan. We need to get back. We need to get back to going back to the national championship. In my opinion, I don't know the quarterback's name. The difference between what's his name? Howard. Damn, how to forget his last name? That's funny.
Come on now.
Howard versus what's called. I don't even want to say his name anymore because it's bad juju. Yeah. But like Howard versus him, like it's not too much of a difference. I would say he definitely has a little bit of a loose ability, but it's not to me. I don't think it's that far off, bro. But again, he's a little bit more mature, has played a lot, and knows how to win. I could take that.
I was going to say, so I haven't watched too much film on him, but the Kansas State games that I have watched, I mean, the kid's a dog too. Yeah. Like he seems like he has that it factor that McCord definitely didn't have, but that a lot of that a lot of players don't have. So you're right. I mean, he's a winner. It seems like an upgrade in general. You got to remember, you were 1 loss away from not only being in the dance, but potentially winning it. And that 1 loss was the national champion. So any upgrade at the quarterback position where you were telling me all year that was the weak point,
Yeah.
So you're right. I'm not surprised a lot of guys are coming back. They're saying, yeah, we were a touchdown away on the road against the national
Michigan.
champions,
Yeah.
away from being in the Final Four, and you have to believe that they would think that they could win it all.
Yeah.
Just on pure confidence and based on what you guys have done the rest of the year. So, dude, that running back for Ole Miss is a beast.
Yeah, 100%. But Liam, this is 2 years in a row of just being. That's why it hurts more being right there. You had the field goal kick to almost beat Georgia, who goes on to win a national championship. You have a close game versus national champions. I mean, the closest game they've had all year, bro. Like until they play Bama, right? Going into it, and it's like we're right there, bro. We're missing it. And I say after this year going into it, I knew like we're probably not gonna get Michigan. Michigan is a totally good team. This year coming up, the 2024-2025 season, we beat Michigan. We will beat Michigan this year. There's no doubt in my mind we beat them.
Yeah. And again, it could look a lot different. And you got to imagine you're going to be in that top 12, right? Unless major injuries happen to Ohio State, you'll be in the top 12. Whether you beat Michigan or not, you're going to be in the top 12. So you got to say, look, this is our chance. So I'd be confident.
Michigan's schedule?
No, I haven't.
Michigan's schedule is like gnarly, bro. Like
isn't like a lot of teams now with the combined like I know what was it? Like Georgia's looks crazy.
No, I mean like of who they have to play is like pretty much everyone they had to like go through. Like it was nuts. So Michigan will have to play for whatever. Texas Longhorns. They'll have to go back to Texas. They'll play USC. They'll play Washington. They'll play, of course, Michigan State. They'll play Oregon, and then they'll play Ohio State. So they have 5 crazy fucking games. Crazy.
So Harbaugh leaves, they're going to be. I mean, that could be a 3-4 loss team.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Still might make the 12.
Yeah, they can. Definitely.
Still might make the 12 though, but we'll see. That I saw that and I was like, oh, it's a fucking. They knew to get this one now. Get it now, bro. Get it now.
I was gonna say this almost feels a little different too because of what you said. All the guys that have come back that were seniors or grad students or transfers that are fifth years, like how many people you're gonna lose, and you might lose your head coach. You better have gotten that one because this doesn't have a Georgia or Alabama or even an Ohio State feel of like, okay, let's just retool, get back. Like you got a lot of retooling. This almost might be like a buffer year for Michigan. On what they're going to lose, especially if Harbaugh goes. Yeah, it might be a long one.
Oh man, it sucks. It also pissed me off that Dave Portnoy got it for himself. Like he got the win because it's like I don't believe he should fucking win anything anymore, bro. Like how does he get fucking Brady with the fucking Patriots? He then moves on. He still gets the Bruins here and there. He got the Red Sox finally winning one in 2018. Then he gets fucking the Patriots suck dick. They're an awful team right now, and then he gets fucking Michigan winning. It's like fuck, bro. Like what the fuck, man? Just either one of my teams, the Yankees, the fucking Cowboys, even the fucking Sixers. Just give me fucking one to just be happy with, like something.
Tell me about it.
Something. I don't give you fucking Rowan University wins one, bro. Fuck. Someone win a chance about this bitch. But speaking of losers, let's jump right into it. Eagles, Cowboys. But you know what, Liam? Before we begin, can we just preface this by saying fuck MetLife Stadium? Like from here on out, no more. Let's boycott MetLife Stadium. Never play there ever again. If I'm the Jets or if I'm the Giants and any player going in saying we will not play as a player association going forward. Someone.
It's crazy to me that the tush push was such a big deal for the NFL. Like that was their major deal. They wanted let's get it on the table. Let's vote on it. Let's it's a health risk. How is nothing being done about this turf? It's I swear to God, it's every week. Yeah, it's every week that somebody plays there, a serious injury happens, and that was really the main reason why. If I were the Eagles, I wouldn't have played a single starter. There's just no way.
Who went out? He tore his Achilles, right?
Sidney Brown, who has played a lot of safety for us, so like necessarily not a starter, but has gotten a lot of snaps. And AJ Brown looks to be okay, but there was a time where I thought he tore his ACL too, the way it looked.
Oh my God, bro. It's awful. But at least on the opposite side, end of the year, worse. We both said we both had bad feelings going into these games of Cowboys playing Washington and then the Eagles playing the Giants. We both were like, nothing's worse than having to go against a team that is okay with fucking your life up just to do it. And they knew going into it that they would fuck up your playoff bracketing because they weren't in the playoffs. So they knew they could just fuck whatever they wanted to fuck up. the worst way to play. Eagles lose 27-10 versus the Giants. Cowboys win 38-10 versus Washington. You texted me and said you have some new takes. I want to see, because Tyler texted it. When did Tyler say, like, Tyler got mad at all the slander for that we've been putting out there for the Eagles? What was it, the day before the Giants game?
I think so. It probably was like the day before. And he's like, I'll pay you $500. I don't even know what the hell. I didn't even read it.
He said he'll bet me $500 on winning the first playoff game. That's what it was. And I was like, bro, I'm not betting you. Like, you may win that game. And then I would say about the middle of the second quarter, he said, I'm sorry for my delusion. And that's all I needed for him to see. So what are your takes? Do not tell me you're on the Ocho Cinco train right now. Don't tell me that hype you up.
If there's anyone to hype me up, it'd be him. First with Ty. Yeah, because I think we put out the video of me saying something about the Eagles. And like I've told him for as long as I've been telling you, like, the season's done. And he was like, every time, bro, I hate the negativity. Like, come on, like, let's do it. I'm like, look, I appreciate that you're sticking with them, but there's going to come a time that you're going to join what Malik and I are saying. And it just happened to be the second quarter of the Giants game. Happened quickly, sooner than I thought. No, my take is a negative one. I really haven't felt any true like fire for this team in probably a month and a half. Like, going into the games, don't really care. Watching the Giants game, like, really was laughing. When I was texting you like 10 or 17-0, the reason I was pissed because I thought AJ Brown tore his ACL. Other than that, I was like, Giants, run it up. Fucking run it up. Especially when Mariota came in, first pass, screen, which we call all the fucking time, which it's just a nightmare. Picked off right away. Like, I was laughing. I was like,
and then they go down and they suck and they throw a pick.
Exactly.
Liam, my exact notes are, this defensive team as a whole, not just the defense, I'm sorry, this team alone is not the same team. You saw Jalen Carter run and hawk that guy. I don't know what game it was, but I remember he made that play in which he hawked the guy down there, like, holy crap, this big dude, you don't see none of that anymore. And that's the Bills. That's okay. The Bills, exactly.
That's Josh Allen. He's running down Josh Allen.
Telltale sign. This is not the same team no more. You have not seen a play like that happen at all.
And this is where my new take has come from. That now I finally have a little bit of a fire. So after the Cardinals game, you know, you heard a lot of fire Nick Sirianni. This is it. And I came on here and I was like, look, this is what they were. It's not a surprise. Let's not overreact. I'm not on the fire Sirianni train yet. After Sunday, I kind of am. And now here's why. It's kind of what you just had said of basic effort, right? Like, that was an effort play, and you haven't seen it since. If I just told you, if you never watched an NFL game in your life, and I put that game on the start and I said, one of these teams is horrible, the other one has a chance to win their division. Just looking at how the two teams are playing, you tell me which one. You would never, I'd give you 100 guesses. Would you ever once say the Eagles were the team that had the fire to try to win the division?
Not at all.
Never. Now, this takes me back to what Nick Sirianni is as a head coach. Made the playoffs all 3 years. He made a Super Bowl in his second year with the team. He made the playoffs again this year, and it was an 11-win team in a tough schedule. Okay, I'll give it to you. But we know he's not the offensive genius. He's not an offensive play caller. He doesn't work with anything on the defensive side of the ball, which is fine. Not a lot of coaches are calling the plays. I don't need my offensive-minded head coach to work with the defense. But his whole thing is motivating the team. His whole thing is being a well-coached team and having these guys ready to go out and play.
He's a hype man.
So, exactly. So if you can't even have your team get up against two of the worst teams in the NFL this year, lose both of those games when you had the 2-seed end the division in your back pocket and your team didn't even want to be there on Sunday, then what do you do? So then I really thought back. And I said, okay, after this Giants game, let me just listen to Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts' press conference. I know exactly what they're going to say. Jalen Hurts is going to say the word execute 50 times, and Nick Sirianni is going to say, yeah, we need to work on things, but we're right there. And they both did. And it was frustrating and laughable. So then I thought, okay, well, let's take it back to week 1. Eagles played the Patriots. I don't know if you remember this game at all. I think they put up 30-plus. Defense blew it in the second half. And if it wasn't for Mac Jones being Mac Jones, who threw for over 300 yards, Patriots were coming back and winning that game.
Yeah.
Patriots have a top 3 pick. Does that kind of sound familiar? That the offense folds, the defense completely blows it, and they're losing or nearly losing to bad
Yeah.
football teams. So we've gone from week 1 now to week 18. You're in the wild card round of the playoffs. And all I've heard from you every step of the way, win, loss, or tie, we need to execute better. We need to be better. Malik,
Yeah.
not only have they not gotten better from week 1, the
Worse.
team, both sides of the ball, every individual position group, every individual. Name me one Eagles player that has gotten better. One. I'll wait.
Facts. Yeah.
So if that's the case, then that's why I'm on the Sirianni now get rid of him. Because if you're not, if everyone's not only not getting better, but getting worse, you can't motivate this team enough to go out there with still the division on the line. You don't know what Dallas and Washington was going to be. And even if you're scoreboard watching, it was 10-7 in like the middle of the second quarter. Washington was winning. And if that doesn't like fire you up at all, that shows me that nobody respects you. You lost the locker room completely. None of the players want to play for you. It's in one ear, out the other. So if you don't have that, I don't care what coordinators you're going to bring in next year, because it's not going to be fixed.
And you know the game, you know they can see the score. Like they're looking at the score, right? And
everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah, everyone sees it. I mean, I kind of was this. I love what Tony said in his message. Is like don't accept things you in a win that you wouldn't accept in a loss. And I was like, that's all I've been saying all year, bro. That's what I've been saying. Is that to me the worst thing you could say, a win is a win. No, that's what I've been arguing, you guys. I'm like, that shit fucking matters, bro. The fact that your offense can only score, the most you guys have scored this year was, I think, 35 or 37 points. The most you scored
in overtime.
And overtime, even worse, bro. Holy fuck, right? You've only scored those points. You've had a defense that allowed, what game was it? I forget what game it was. 31 points against the Commanders. That's when I was like, this is a problem. You're allowing the Commanders isn't even a fucking team. You're allowing the Commanders to score 31 fucking points on you guys. That is an issue, bro. You guys won that one. That was the game you won overtime, correct?
Yeah.
The field goal. That was a crazy field goal that he bombed in. Like, that is a problem that's been there all year. When your defense kind of bails you guys out for the last 2 years, has been bailing you guys out. You guys have been you went to the Super Bowl alone off your defense alone, right? It's just kind of been like this hidden thing that's probably the Eagles have probably known behind the scenes of like, we are not the offense, but our defense has kept us in games that we can still pull out just a little bit because of talent alone. But when talent alone doesn't want to play anymore, and they're like, yo, fuck this guy, I think you're right, Liam. I think it might be they don't want to play for that guy. They don't want to play for Sirianni anymore. These guys, these vets are ready to get out. It sucks that I said fucking, what's his name? Kelsey should have fucking left last year, bro. Go out that way, then going out this way. You do not want to go out this way, bro. And we'll talk about player predictions, but at the end of the day, it's still a sour taste in your mouth to be like, you're the only team in NFL history to not get, 12 wins with like 5 games left.
And that's with an extra game. That's with the extra game. Think about that.
Yeah, exactly. So like that to me, like it's an issue all around. But do you think like the probability of you guys actually getting rid of Sirianni? I mean, I saw a post that was like, if we can get rid of your old coach that won your Super Bowl, why can't we get rid of Sirianni? But I think you guys hyped up Sirianni so much that he's the football genius that they're not ready to let go.
Yeah. So I do believe if the Eagles go out and look like they have the past 2 weeks, and say the Bucs beat them by like 2 or more scores, like say they beat them by like 17, I do think there's a legitimate possibility that Sirianni goes. The only thing is just like why I wasn't on the Sirianni fire train last week is because I was like, look, get rid of the OC, get rid of both defensive coordinators, which again, that's what I wanted to touch on too with Nick Sirianni of how do you make a defensive coordinator switch when you're 10-3? Like teams that are fighting for the first overall pick make those moves just to see what they have. Like winning teams don't do that. Teams that have a legitimate Super Bowl chance, they don't do that. So I was kind of in the mindset of like, look, if he's a coordinator merchant, if he needs 2 good coordinators around him, fine, fuck it, who cares? Go out and get 2 experienced guys. Sirianni, bring him back in for a 4th year. Like he again has made the playoffs all 3 years. Like he's not losing 12 games a year.
That's what I think he stays.
But I think overall he does stay. I feel weird about this game. It doesn't make any fucking sense why they're 3-point favorites on the road. They're probably going to win, but I think if they get blown out, the Eagles have shown, like just like you said, with Doug Peterson getting fired and Chip Kelly, even back in those days, like he clearly lost the locker room after a couple of successful seasons record-wise.
Yeah,
they'll cut the cord right away because you also know you have this core players for the next 4 or 5 years. Like that's a short time in the NFL. Why would you waste another one with a coach you don't think is bringing the best out of these guys?
are you on the hate train of you guys just paid Jalen Hurts all that money and look what he has done, or are you giving him 1 more year?
To me, anyone saying anything bad about Jalen Hurts is like they don't watch. Like, you want something to bitch about. I've been telling you since week 3. I think I told you, I was like, bro, like watching him, he looks more like Jalen Hurts from 2 years ago than he does last year. I'm not, because I've seen a lot of, oh, he's Carson Wentz. I've seen a lot of, oh, we overpaid him. We overpaid him. Like, just shut the fuck up. He's been battling a knee injury for 75% of the year. He's clearly dealing with incompetent coaching staff. Dude was the MVP last year and led you to the Super Bowl. Everyone was all sucking his dick. So I don't want to. Yeah, those are the Eagles fans that get you to hate the Eagles.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one. I agree. But hey, let's do our playoff predictions, brother. Let's break the bracket down. Let's start with the AFC. Let's start out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Houston versus Cleveland. Let's start with the first rounders, right? Houston versus Cleveland, Kansas City versus Miami, Buffalo versus Pittsburgh. Let's start at the top. Houston, Cleveland. Let me hear who you got. You already know where I'm going. You already know where I'm going.
The toughest one. I know where you're going. This is the toughest one for me. I was riding with the Texans. I put a bet in like a month and a half ago that they would win the division when they were in third place. I fuck with CJ Stroud heavy. I think the Browns defense is too legit.
Okay.
And it's in the playoffs, it's a matter of the teams that get hot at the right time. And I think the Texans are there. Like, they're right on the cusp of being legit, but it almost reminds me of what the Jags were last year. Now, granted, they won their first playoff game, but ended up losing to the Chiefs. And it's kind of like, okay, like we're almost there. I got to take the Browns. I think their defense is just too much. And I think they're going to show some things that may trip up a young CJ Stroud in that moment. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'd be glad to be wrong because they're a lot of fun to watch, but I got to go with the Browns.
I just think Houston is so fucking explosive on the offensive side that it can make up for that deficit of going against that defense. And I think CJ Stroud is going to show a lot of fucking people he's going to be the quarterback of the future for a long time that we see. Like, this isn't one of those rookies that have his fad and it goes out. He's going to be here for a long time. Also, I want to do a recall. Shout out to Mike. When Mike came on our podcast, he said his 2 predictions were Houston makes the playoffs and Jordan Love will finish top 5 in fantasy quarterbacks, and he's number 4 right now. So shout out to you, Mike, for that awesome prediction. Kansas City, Miami. This is a tough one, but I'm leaning. I picked Houston, but in that first one, but in this one here, Kansas City, Miami. It would have been tough without seeing what Miami just did for Buffalo, but I'm going full force into Kansas City.
Oh yeah, no, I'm all Kansas City. This is what Miami's been all year. I think they're the only team above 500 that they've beaten with the Cowboys, barely. So I think you see the weather. It's supposed to be like negative degrees. There's just no way. There's no way the Dolphins win. They're too soft for me. I think this is the game where everyone's like, oh shit, maybe Mahomes can do it again. I'd be shocked if the Dolphins go in and win. Shocked.
And the fact that the Dolphins gave the division away, like they had the chance to win the division, get home field advantage, put Mahomes on the road. Different story then, but you gave Mahomes home field advantage right now.
You want to talk about choking away a division?
Oh
the Dolphins might have been worse than the Eagles.
It might have been. So we both picked Kansas City. We then have Buffalo versus Pitt. Huge news just hit. TJ Watt is not playing in this game. So who do you got in this one?
The only question for me is, are the Bills going to cover the 10 points or not? The Steelers are not going into Buffalo and winning.
Yeah.
They might have covered if TJ Watt played. The dude wreaks havoc, and we see Josh Allen turn it over after turn it over. So now I think Bills and Buffalo, dude, that crowd's going to be nuts.
We skipped ahead. We totally left off that game, that Buffalo Bills at Tua. I'll just say quickly, Buffalo Bills versus Miami. I was watching Josh Allen. It looked like he was just laughing it off when he was just throwing shit away. Like, it looked like he was laughing, bro. I was like, does he not give a fuck about this game? Like, he's just like throwing like picks. I'm just like
bad picks,
huh?
Bad. They were bad picks.
It didn't make sense. It wasn't like God was draping him. He picked. It was just like wide open picks. Like, you'll never get a gift like that again. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what is going on? To tell you right now, Diggs might be a Cowboy. He's gonna be a Cowboy next year. He's fucking gone.
Yeah, he's
done.
done.
At the end of the game was like, yo, we fucking won. A win's a win. He was one of those. A win's a win, bro. Let's go to playoffs. Let's just fucking go against Kansas City and lose. That's where I'm going. But then let's jump up. So we have Houston versus Baltimore. That's what it would end up, right?
It would be Houston. So you had Chiefs and Bills. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you would have Texans, Baltimore. I have Browns, Baltimore. So Texans, Baltimore. What do you have?
So text. I have Baltimore winning that one. I think that this is the first time we see. I hope we're wrong about Lamar not being able to win a playoff game. I think this is the one where he shuts the doubters up. It's a perfect game for him to finally get over that hump of not being able to win one. If he goes against, I think if he goes against Houston or Cleveland, it's finally one to get over that hump of like, give me a playoff win. Perfect scenario for him to get a playoff win in. So then you have Cleveland, Baltimore.
I have Cleveland, Baltimore.
Okay.
For the sake of just like let's be chaotic, I'm going Cleveland. I said a couple weeks ago we had to call Vaughn. I said I really think the Browns are the biggest threat to the Ravens right now in the AFC. Those divisional games are weird. They can play him tough. They know how to play Lamar. They play him twice a year since he's been in the league.
They got
realistically, yeah, this year I think they split. Realistically, I think the Ravens.
On the podcast today.
Huh?
I totally forgot Javon's was coming on the podcast today.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's got a bye week anyway.
He has a bye week, so we'll call him next week.
Yeah, but fuck it. For chaotic reasons, Joe Flacco I think goes into Baltimore. Like that's going to be the story. Like Flacco goes back to Baltimore and beats the Ravens.
Ooh, that's gonna be a big one. I mean, that's gonna be a huge one for well, no, not that. That's in the NFC. We'll talk about that one. Okay, I have KC versus Buffalo.
Yep, same here.
For some reason, I'm leaning Buffalo, bro. I'm with you. I'm leaning towards Buffalo, even though they suck and Josh Allen sucks. I think that the fact that he still was able to get a win matters in this game. The fact that he was still able to get that win versus the Dolphins in like a game in which they should have definitely fucking lost. I think that rival is so much heat there that Buffalo needs it. Buffalo needs it more than ever to say we have to set Mahomes straight, and it's gonna be that's gonna be a Buffalo game, right?
It would be in Buffalo. Yep.
And that is these are two teams who need home field advantage. Same weather. I mean, Kansas City a little bit more colder, but Buffalo still that home field advantage is something different up there, brother. So I'm taking Buffalo.
I'm too. This feels like kind of a not passing of the torch long term, right? I'm not saying Mahomes is done, but this feels like the Chiefs have always been the thorn in the Bills' side.
Yeah.
And I think a big reason is it's always in Kansas City. I think Kansas City having to go to Buffalo, like the Bills know this is the year we finally take down the team that has beaten us and taken us out year after year. So I got the Bills winning.
Okay. So then that leads us to you saying I have Baltimore, Buffalo. You have Cleveland, Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that'd be nuts, bro. That'd be so
nuts. Look, my predictions are more like nuts than probably realistically it'll be Ravens, Bills, but fuck it. I'm going to have fun and go Cleveland, Buffalo. That would be
NFC side. I have that for the NFC side. So in that game alone, I just have Baltimore. I have Baltimore being like, this is finally our fucking year. Let's get us to the fucking Super Bowl and let them. I would love to see Lamar in the Super Bowl. I would love that nothing more. If there's anything that sucks this year, it's like there's nothing really crazy in the NFL this year, like of like standout teams like that. I would love to see Lamar in a Super Bowl game. So I'm going to go with Baltimore being in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo. I think
shit.
I know we continue to talk shit on Josh Allen. You beat Bills, but they're home against Cleveland in the AFC Championship game. I think this is where Joe Flacco's magic kind of runs out, and I'm going to go Buffalo.
All right. So let's turn it over to our side of things. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. If you're fucking right, you gotta put like a $2.
Yeah, this would be great.
Buffalo into Super Bowl. That'd be nuts. On the other side, we have on the NFC, we have Tampa Bay versus Philly, Detroit versus the Los Angeles Rams, and then we have Dallas versus Green Bay. Let's start at the top. Tampa Bay versus Philly. Who you got, brother?
Fuck, man.
And then we'll jump to us, to the Cowboys.
The only reason I'm taking the Eagles is because, truthfully, it's one of those lines we talk about all the time. It's one of those lines that if I wasn't an Eagles fan, like I'm just watching the NFL and how it's been going down, I'm looking at the Bucs being underdogs and saying to myself, I'm about to make a shit ton of money. I think a lot of people are just looking and being like, oh, how the fuck are the Eagles going to go on the road and beat the Bucs? Why are they favorites in this game? Like that doesn't make any sense at all.
The Eagles are favored?
Eagles are 3-point favorites on the road.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'll go with the Eagles. And look, by the grace of God chance that this team is going to do the most like crazy thing ever and actually play like they did last year. Like the Ocho Cinco theory of like, they've just been saying, fuck it, we'll make it to the playoffs and then we'll really turn up.
Yeah.
If they do, I don't know if I'll be able to do the podcast because I won't even know what to say. But I'll go with the Eagles either way.
I think the Eagles still win that game. I think the Eagles don't go out that way. They're not going to end their season with like just I mean, how many games in a row would that be losing and then lose first round wild card to fucking Tampa Bay, being as though the Cowboys beat Tampa Bay last year? Like, there's just no way that they go out that way. So I think they make it past
them earlier. We earlier in the year, Eagles went down there and really it was dominating. But yeah, they can't lose to Baker Mayfield.
There's no way they go down there and lose that way. Then we have Dallas versus Green Bay. This is the only fucking game that I looked at this shit and I said, here we are, man. Here's the NFL script for things to go the Eagles' way. Here's the NFL script, bro, for the Eagles to get back to where they want to get to.
Yeah.
And for Dallas to fucking lose and keep the narrative going of not being able to win in the playoffs. This is the perfect way to go. And no matter what, I don't give a fuck if you say you think Jordan Love can beat the Cowboys. I think Green Bay as a whole can beat Dallas in anything you put it up to, because Green Bay had just always done that. I will always have the superstition in Green Bay versus Dallas. I would always edge Green Bay. And that was Aaron Rodgers back in the day, so it's different. It's a little different now, but it's Green Bay. It's just always going to be there. So I took Green Bay to win this game.
Did you? You're a fucking bitch.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm too fucking nervous of Green Bay, bro. You don't know the trauma that's there, bro. Trauma, bro.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I got Dallas. I think this is going to be a game that may be tight for a little bit, and it probably won't be close at the end. Jordan Love's been awesome. I don't know how good that Green Bay defense. Green Bay let up 30 points to the fucking Panthers 2-3 weeks ago. I think if Dallas wanted to, they could put up 50. So I got the Cowboys.
It's playoff P though, bro. Playoff Prescott.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like,
and someone brought up the point. Like the past couple weeks, realistically, that Cowboys offense solely goes through CeeDee Lamb. We talked about Pollard being a disappointment. Jair Alexander is one of the better corners in the league. If you just shadow CeeDee Lamb and contain him a little bit, like if CeeDee has 7 catches for 80 yards, I would assume the Packers either lost that game just barely or won.
Yeah, no, but then I say the blessing to come out of this week was to see our running game finally turn the fuck up without Zach Martin playing. That was, I don't know, you probably weren't watching at all, but like that was when watching that Cowboys W, the only positive that came out of that was the confidence in Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb being wide receiver, like the kid's a beast, bro. Like I need that jersey now. Like, I've been waiting if I get a Michael Parsons jersey or a CeeDee Lamb. It's CeeDee Lamb for sure now. Like slat to the fucking just first downs at all time he catches the ball. Like CeeDee Lamb's just so nasty. But no matter what, you have Pollard and our other backup running back who got going. This was like the Eagles wanted to achieve something in that game and didn't. The Cowboys win that game saying we need to achieve the running game, and that's what came out of it. But also, you want to say CeeDee Lamb goes for 7 catches for maybe 80 yards? Don't forget about Fergie, baby. Ferguson is the fucking dog, bro. He's a fucking dog, and that's what I need out of him. So no matter what, we can throw it down. But I think it's just Green Bay, bro. It's just fucking and we're home. Like a team that's the underdogs to come into the Cowboys can't lose at home. All that stuff is there.
Yeah.
Want to come back. So that takes it then to Green Bay being the having the worst number going into it. That it would be Green Bay versus San Francisco, and I have then in the Detroit versus the Rams game. This is a Stafford coming back home.
What a game!
Right?
Yeah,
what a game. Who do you take in this game? I'm taking Detroit.
I'm taking LA. I think the things that has worried me the most about Detroit and what I feel like you and I have been saying, like, look, it's going to come down. I feel like all year we've been saying Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Like the Lions never even crossed our mind. Reason for that, their defense just doesn't impress me. And you're going up against one of the best offensive coaches in the NFL, a legitimate wide receiver duo, a legitimate running back the Rams have. That Kyron Williams has been a beast the last couple of weeks. And Matthew Stafford, like a veteran quarterback who's been there before. I think the Rams are going to pull it out. I think this is perfect too. Like you talk about the Cowboys, like all the troubles that they've gone through. Think about the Lions and the Lions fans, how much shit they've had to deal with just to finally win the division and the playoff game. They have their old franchise quarterback, who's probably the best quarterback they've ever had, come in with his new team and beat them at home. That's the perfect Detroit way to happen.
Yo, you might have flipped me, bro. I think I'll go with you on that one. I'll go with that one. So now it still will lead to San Francisco versus Green Bay for me, and then it would be Philly versus LA,
which would be an Eagles home game.
Yeah. So then I take. No matter what, if it was Philly or Detroit, I had Philly Detroit down first. I still take Philly in that game, whoever they play next. So I take Philly to go forward, and then San Francisco, Green Bay. I think we both say San Francisco regardless.
Yeah, so I have San Francisco against the Rams, San Francisco, and then in my bracket I have Eagles going to Dallas.
Yeah,
and just for the lack of, well, again, pure NFL fan, I'm picking Dallas. Pure Eagles fan, fuck you. No shot in hell I'm picking Dallas. So I got a rematch, Eagles Niners NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, if okay, let's say your bracket plays out, I would take you guys too. Like it's just I would take the like I'm not and I'm not playing the devil, the guy of like have low expectations.
Like the Skip Bayless, like he jinxes the.
No, I don't have low expectations. I have the reality expectations of there's just no way. I mean, I know as an Eagles fan, you guys have lost hope for you guys, but there's just no way the Eagles organization goes out there and lose to the Cowboys in the playoffs. Not right now, not with all this talent, and not with Dak Prescott as quarterback. So, and there's what better way to do it in the playoffs to get you to the NFC Championship? And then that's where we have Philly versus San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco any day.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this is surprising that it might be actually it's going to be closer than when it was during the regular season, but I still have San Francisco edging it out to then become a San Francisco versus Baltimore Super Bowl.
Yeah, I unfortunately am going to be realistic here. I don't really see the Eagles. Now, look, this could change because if my bracket's correct, if they beat Tampa Bay and they beat Dallas, especially depending on how they do it, who knows? Like we could be looking at a different Eagles team in 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
As of right now, obviously, I don't see a world. So I'll pick the Niners for right now, but that could change.
And then who do you have winning the Super Bowl? Niners versus Baltimore.
I have Buffalo in it. Remember?
Oh, yes. So I had San Francisco, Baltimore, and I have San Francisco winning it. San Francisco versus the fucking Bills. Who do you have?
The Bills.
Yes, bro. Oh my god.
This might be hate. This might be hate, right? But I look at the last 2 times in a big game that the Niners have played a mobile quarterback. And I'm going to take it back. Last year in the NFC Championship game, we know what happened to Purdy, bitching, whatever. But the Eagles offense still was able to move. Like Hurts was still able to do things on that defense in the beginning of the game before Purdy got hurt.
Yeah.
And right after when that defense was still bringing pressure. This year was a little different with Hurts' knee. Call me a bitch for coming up with that excuse. I think it was different. And then we saw what Lamar did to that defense in San Francisco on Christmas night. Really did whatever he wanted to. I think if Josh Allen plays a clean game, that San Francisco defense is a little different when you're playing a top 3 mobile quarterback in the game. And again, it might just go with my Niners hate. I don't want to see them win it, especially after all that work that they're talking. So after all this of calling out Josh Allen, of continuing to save these ass, I think if he plays a clean enough game throughout the playoffs, he just needs to play 3 or 4 clean games. The team is hot enough to win a Super Bowl.
You can't expect Josh Allen to play 1, 2, 3, 4 perfect games, bro. You just can't.
I just need one perfect. If you play perfect against the Niners, the Bills will beat them. And again, we talk about the way
you need him to be perfect versus Pittsburgh, which is okay. You need him to be perfect. That game, whatever. You need him to be perfect versus Kansas City, and you need him to be perfect on, I guess, only in your bracket, no. But I need him to be perfect again versus Baltimore.
But do you really need him to be perfect against Kansas City? We look at what Kansas City's not Kansas City from previous years.
They were sitting over there.
I guess, but I don't know if you got to be perfect. And then in my bracket, I got him going up against the Browns. You don't necessarily need to be perfect to beat Joe Flacco. Going to the Super Bowl again. Niners have a blueprint on how you beat them. Just get up on them. Make things uncomfortable for that offense. I think the Bills can do that. And look, I also don't trust Kyle Shanahan to win the big game. He showed us what he did in Atlanta. He shows us what he does in San Francisco. So if the Bills jump up to an early lead in the Super Bowl, I think he's just going to be like choking himself again.
Yeah, I just want the Dallas to be done, over with, quick and done, and not have to break my heart about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you feel the same way. You just don't want to say it. Like, rip the Band-Aid off quicker than you have to slowly remove it. So it's okay. I completely understand. But let's see who plays out. Your bracket is nuts and gnarly. I cannot believe I'm seeing the day where you want fucking Josh Allen and Bills Mafia to come down to you. So that's crazy to me. That's crazy than me saying Dallas loses to Green Bay first round.
Yeah. Wow. Well, look, it's fuck, dude. I'd be shocked if the Packers win. If the Packers keep it close, I'd be surprised.
It's the Cowboys way, man. It's the Cowboys way. So then I'm praying on. Wait. Oh, okay. Fuck, dog. So if we win versus Green Bay, we need you guys to lose to try to play against either Detroit or LA.
So I don't think you wouldn't play LA at all.
We would have to
Unless it would be the NFC Championship game, but in the
yeah.
second round you wouldn't, because then the Niners would play the lowest seed.
Okay. So then, so we either play you guys or TB.
It would either be us. So if you guys beat the Packers,
yeah.
From there, it would only you would only play Lions, Eagles, or Bucks in the second round.
Yeah. I think we end up playing the Detroit. If everything goes that way, we play Detroit for the rematch. Would be crazy.
They beat you. I think if you play Detroit, they'll beat you.
Yeah, they're gonna be pissed off. No, I think we come back. That game, I'm like, we come back like, let's not keep this bitch close. Let's fucking spare it away. That one, I'll be on my hype train. I'm like, I want these motherfuckers to know it wasn't a fucking fluke. And then we get proven it was a fluke. That's what happens to us. That's what happens to us. But then news around the league, we have the Saints. Everything that went down with the Saints. So you were explaining to me a little bit what happened beforehand, but you see the Saints coach and the Falcons coach get into it after the game. The funniest part was a black coach walking by and just cursing him the fuck out in
Yeah.
So what exactly happened?
So I think the score was like 40-17 Saints.
Okay.
Falcons had the ball. They threw a pick. I think it was Tyrann Mathieu returned it down to the 1 yard line. And it might have been like a minute and a half left. And in a game like that, like even if the Falcons had timeouts, they weren't going to take them. So I think they called in to back up Jameis Winston, who was in the game. Just kneel it down twice. Let's just get out of here with the win. And instead, they line up in victory formation, and Jameis hands the ball off to their running back, who ends up scoring. Falcons were pissed that they were running up the score. Apparently, Jameis Winston said that the call had come in, just take a couple knees, and the team overrode the decision. I think Jameis was like, yo, let's get our boy to score. And they were all like, yeah, fuck yeah. So I don't know. I'm in the camp of play until the final whistle. I guess the only weird part about it was if you line up in that formation to kind of like you can't fake them out. You can't be like, I'm going to take a knee and fake them out like that. If they were to line up regularly, fuck it. It's football. Stop them.
Yeah, that way. But they lined up as a knee, right?
But they lined up as a knee. That's what I have a little bit of an issue with.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
That's Jameis Winston saying, like, you won't be back in the league, bro. Like, because you already have shown you're a dumb football player, but now you're that type of player. Coaches aren't going to go for you, bro. Like, count your blessings, bro. You're done. You're out. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's crazy that, again, we were talking about what Shannon Sharp said. Like, anytime a team has to go and trade for Derek Carr, kind of tells us what we need to know about Jameis Winston.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
You don't have enough confidence in him to beat out Derek Carr. Derek Carr is playing half hurt. His whole body was hurt half the year, and they never went to Jameis Winston. Like,
it's over.
It's over.
So sad how stupid he is. He's so stupid.
I know.
And then the last news, it sucks to hit the thing that John Morant's out for the season-ending injury after coming back of not having to play. I don't know how many games because of the gun incident. A couple weeks ago, we were saying how dumb he was for like celebrating shooting into the stands. I was like, this guy just doesn't fucking get it. But nothing you want to see worse than happen is a guy with his talent have a season-ending injury in that way, especially missing so much of the season, knowing he was about to go fucking crazy, bro. He was about to go nuclear on the NBA.
Yeah, no, I feel bad. I mean, he's such an exciting player. That's why, like, when we talk about him being dumb, like, it comes from a part of us as fans being like, dude, stop being dumb. Like, the league wants to see you play.
Yeah.
The only worry, and this might be like fucking crazy, but we've heard athletes say before, like, how tough these injuries are, just because, like, you're not even like a part of the team as much anymore.
Yeah.
You're not practicing. You're not in these team meetings. Like, you're focused on yourself and rehabbing. I just hope he puts himself in the best situations possible outside of the Memphis organization as he's continuing to rehab, because what I don't want to see is him go back to doing the stupid shit because he's not really playing ball and how much that can affect him. So hopefully he just gets right, gets healthy, and gets back.
Awful, dude. And I've been watching a lot of basketball this year, man. I've been watching the Sixers. I've been watching some things go down. Again, the podcast curse. Let's just see if these guys can finish it off in the playoffs. That's all that matters. That's what every Philly fan is just holding their breath to wait and see. Hey, man, I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm excited to see what it comes. You guys play Monday. We play Sunday or Saturday?
I think you are Sunday at like 4.
Okay, so we play Sunday at 4. Let's see what happens. Either way, I'll know what my life is going to be in hell at least by Monday, so I can just be sitting back, relaxing, or now stressing, hoping that Tampa Bay beats you guys, which is not happening in my eyes.
Sucks. We're another Monday night game. America's team, man. America's team. They want to see the Eagles play.
And not anymore. What the fuck? They want to see.
And they still put them on Monday night.
Embarrass yourself, bro. But hey, guys, make sure you support the podcast. Shout out to the podcast raffle winner. It'll be posted on the Instagram. I promise you, this Friday, you today you will have it. Shout out to the new episode that's going to be dropping next week. If you haven't tuned in, make sure you tune in. I recorded an episode with my therapist that will be dropping probably Wednesday of next week. So tune into that. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at WeTrust_podcast. Support us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube and follow Liam on Instagram at
Liam Stokes 11.
Trust up, guys.
Thanks, Lee.